Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Scented Life. I have sort of an impromptu post-burn review for you guys today, taking a look at Kringle Candle's Christmas lights. So this is not my usual filming spot. This was sort of like a spur of the moment, last minute thing here. I don't normally film on the weekends when my entire family is home, so there may be some background noise in this video, but this was probably the most quiet spot I could find today. Very simple here, going with our currently undecorated Christmas tree, but it is our first time having a flocked Christmas tree, so I am really excited to get this decorated. I just haven't had the time yet, so hopefully Thanksgiving weekend that's what we'll be doing. But felt like this was kind of appropriate for this candle anyway. So thank you guys for joining me. This review here, I originally wrote this review back in 2023 when this fragrance was launched originally. I purchased this as part of their, I think it was like a holiday reserve collection. This came out with peppermint pop, and I think there was another one or two fragrances in that collection. I just got this and peppermint pop. But it was sort of one of those one-year wonder type of scents where it came out, a lot of people loved it, it sold out, and then we never saw it again until this weekend. It was just sort of quietly added to the Kringle Candle website, which I happened to notice because I have been on that website a lot the last few days. Kringle started their Black Friday sale early, if you haven't already seen. I know a lot of you have already told me you've placed multiple orders. I am now in that camp of multiple orders. I did a large order on Friday when the sale started. And then yesterday, I'm just kind of looking and seeing, because sometimes on these long duration sales, they will add things back in stock, or maybe something new will pop up. So I was just taking a look and happened to notice Christmas lights was showing as in stock. And so, you know what? Add to cart. Before I know it, order number 2 is placed. And I don't know how limited the quantities are with this one. Recently, peppermint pop was in stock on the website as well, and I don't see that one available anymore, so I'm guessing it's somewhat limited in nature. So I wanted to get this review out there for you guys before it sells out again. I don't like to rave about fragrances, but there are certain ones that sort of warrant a little bit more excitement. I recently filmed that Kringle Candle tree sort of guide video where I took a look at a lot of the different tree scents in Kringle's catalog of fragrances. I talked about several of them being like my top scents. And for that video, I excluded scents like this that are considered sort of specialty. But this definitely would have been on the high end of this of that list as a top tree scent. Just a all-around favorite of mine. So I'm really excited to see it back in stock, and I really hope that, you know, if it does sell out again, this is not the last we see of it. So either way, I already had this review prepared from when I burned it back in 2023. So I said, let me just hop on here and film this for you guys. So as I mentioned, this is a reserve fragrance. So no, this is not included in their sale right now. This is just a regular sort of specialty fragrance. It is 22 ounces, 100% soy white wax inside this beautiful black jar, and the burn time of up to 100 hours. So I will say right now, where you're looking at, when I reviewed this originally, I was about 5 burns or so into this fragrance. I've burned it a few more times since then. So today, this is around my burn 8 or 9, somewhere in that ballpark here. We are more than halfway into the jar of this candle. I took a look at what my original thoughts were and then just refreshed some things a little bit here and there as I've burned this. I burned it pretty much all day yesterday, and here I am again today, because sometimes it's like you don't know if your memory's playing tricks on you. Like, you remember loving something, but then you're like, could it really be as great as I remember? Like, let me refresh my memory here. And burning it yesterday, yes, I really do feel like it's as great as I remember it being. So I just really kind of tweaked this a little bit. So some of this might sound familiar if you were following me back then, but I know a lot of you are kind of new to me, new to my reviews. I only came on YouTube last year, so I figured it was still worth throwing this out there. So this not being part of the sale, it is priced at $34. You can either use a reward if you have them, or you can use my code Simply Scented to get yourself 15% off. So if you're doing a big like sale order, discount codes like Simply Scented won't apply to things that are already on a discount, but they will apply to anything full price like this that you have in your cart. But if you have rewards available, that will kind of just take it off your total. So definitely check out, see what you have. There's so many good things on sale right now. So it's kind of easy enough to find some other things you want to buy while you're in there to make it worth make it worth your while to go in there, pay the shipping or whatever the case may be. But this I am an ambassador with them. I did purchase this one myself, so in full disclosure, just throwing that out there for you guys. But what we'll do here is I will walk you through Kringle's notes and description here, and then we will get into my interpretation of this fragrance. So for Kringle's description here, they say, let the warm glow of Christmas lights transport you to a cozy winter wonderland with notes of pine, juniper, and cranberry intertwining to create a festive aroma. We have top notes here of the perfect holiday pine, frosted juniper, cypress sprigs, and eucalyptus leaf. We have mid notes of cranberry garland, royal red apple, and fir needle, and base notes of sweet sap, fresh cut cedarwood, oak moss, and white musk. So yesterday when I shared that this was available again here to my wall, I gave you kind of just a sort of snapshot of my opinion of this fragrance. And I talked about it being a little bit reminiscent of Kringle Candle's Christmas, their sort of best-selling tree fragrance, with a little bit of extra uniqueness, a little bit more flair to it. And honestly, with this reserve line, that's kind of, you get a lot of that where it's either a scent that is a little bit more conceptual in nature or something that's more elevated. So I kind of like to think of this in terms of like a Kringle's Christmas being sort of a really great, but sort of basic sort of tree scent. It's really focused on the tree. There's really not a lot extra to it. So if you think of Christmas as if that's your perfect tree that you have picked out at the tree farm or the lot or wherever you get your Christmas tree, you've picked out this tree. It's beautiful. It's great. It's perfect. It's everything you were looking for. But then you bring that tree home and then you get the lights on there and you decorate it. And now you've taken this wonderful, great tree and you just kind of took it up a notch. Once you turn the lights on, when it's fully decorated and you're sitting by the glow of that tree, it's just like even better. That's kind of what I feel about this fragrance here. As I get into my original review here, I just want to kind of reiterate here that this is based on my experience with my pour here being from October 2023. So anything you're ordering right now will most likely have a new pour date, and there can be, slight differences in batches and whatnot, and just the age of the candle overall. So just keep that in mind. This is based on what I have originally here, and hopefully the new one is pretty consistent. Now, I did order the new one, of course, but they are getting so many sale orders right now that I have a feeling that shipping is going to take a little while, and I just don't trust that I will get the new one in my hand to review for you guys before this sells out. So I'm going to go ahead with what my original feelings were here, and we'll just go from there and hope for the best. But for my original thoughts on this fragrance, and I have tweaked a few things here, but this scent makes me think of heading home from the tree farm with a fresh cut Christmas tree on Thanksgiving weekend, and knowing that like all the joy of that holiday season is still ahead of you, and just that sort of special feeling, that excitement of Christmas time. Holiday pine, fresh juniper, and fir needles jump out the most to my nose, complemented by cypress and hints of eucalyptus leaf. They are nicely balanced to create a classic Christmas tree scent. I'd say this is in the same family as Kringle's Christmas for comparison. At the time when I reviewed this, I hadn't burned balsam fir yet. I would say there are also some slight similarities to balsam fir in a way, the tree note being a little bit different, but just that overall freshness of it with the woods and just that sort of fresh cut tree feeling. There is some similarities to balsam fir as well, but I would say overall closer to Kringle's Christmas. Um, and since I know some of you out there are going to be wondering this, and hopefully you know what I mean here, I don't get any sort of cat pee essence from this whatsoever. I know a lot of people with certain tree fragrances, you get sort of that like cat pee tone. It sounds really gross, but I think some of you will know what I'm saying. But I don't get any of that here with this fragrance. The tree notes here are sweetened by fresh sap and enhanced by the woodsiness and that slightly earthy cedarwood and oak moss there. And that's for me what gives it that sort of fresh tree feeling, that true fresh tree. The sap note here was very present on the first couple burns, but it has since leveled out deeper into this candle. And while I do still get a slightly sappy quality here, it's definitely not as pronounced as it was originally, which at first I was thinking this might be a little bit too sappy sweet for me, but it has certainly mellowed out as we've gotten into this candle here. And now it's kind of at that point where it's just right. The thing with this fragrance, though, that sort of takes it to the next level and kind of elevates it a little bit beyond your basic tree scent here, for me, it's the addition of the cranberry and the apple. They don't dominate the scent. It doesn't make this feel like a fruity fragrance. They just kind of blend in there beautifully. And I think of it almost like a sort of cran apple chutney where it's very fresh and chopped and only a tad sweet. It's not syrupy. It just adds that little something extra in there, making it just slightly more complex, slightly more interesting. And just, that's where I say, like, as a reserve fragrance, you're adding that just slightly more conceptual piece, elevating this tree scent to another level. The scent is sealed with a just light veil of musk. It gives it more of a cozy ambience here that makes it, gives you that a little bit more of that sort of indoor tree feeling. Like this, I feel like kind of toes the line a little bit in one sense because it's sort of fresh and outdoorsy with that fresh cut feeling. You do have a little bit of an outdoors element here, but it's also got that little bit of warmth with that little bit of musk in there, very light musk. It's not perfumey to me, just adds that slightly warm, cozy holiday feeling about it, and just really, really nicely balanced. So the last thing we have to talk about here is performance, which has been really good. Originally, I had said this was probably on the higher end of the spectrum in terms of strength and the intensity and the ability to throw. I would say this is kind of settled for me a little bit. At this point here in time, I would rate this probably about a 7. So now, mind you, this candle has sat now for a couple years, but I am burning this in an open concept space, and it is a very noticeable scent. It is carrying itself well. I'm in my living room here with very high ceilings, and it's handling the space just fine. I can smell it across the house in my kitchen and in the hallway area, and it is making my home smell like Christmas, which really is what I'm looking for here in a Christmas tree fragrance. So no complaints there. I've had no issues with the burn. So hopefully whatever new batch comes out will be pretty on par with what we have here today, but absolutely no complaints in terms of performance. So kudos again to Mike and anybody in Kringle who had a hand in designing, developing this fragrance. I think they really did a great job. And I don't like to be one of those people just raving about something unless it's really truly one of my favorites. And this absolutely, it's at the top of the list. I feel like this is just really sort of great tree scent. And I don't want to like set you up for disappointment, like, putting the expectation too high. I just really like this one. And if you are someone who really loves Christmas, I definitely think this is worth giving it a try. I told you guys, Christmas is not my number one tree scent from Kringle, and I definitely stand by that, even though it's their number one tree scent. But for me, just the extra additions here just makes it a little bit more interesting, take it to the next level sort of scent, and I just enjoy this so much. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that helped. If you're kind of hemming and hawing right now, deciding, do you need it? Do you not? Again, I don't know how long this is going to last on the website. Hopefully by the time I'm done filming here and get this posted, it's still available. But hopefully that helps you decide if you missed it the first time or you weren't And maybe you weren't shopping with Kringle back then and you're wondering what all the fuss is about. That's my take on this fragrance. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great, relaxing Sunday if you're watching this on Sunday, and a great start to your week next week. The week of Thanksgiving, we are already there. It's crazy to me, but thank you guys and have a great day.